This is sickening. A new article from the Hockey News has to make you pissed off if you're a Ducks fan. We get into exactly why in this edition of Ducks Digest. Hey, it's Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 19% of you, the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button, but 81% of you have not subscribed yet. I'm not sure why. You have to hit that subscribe button. We're the newest Anaheim Ducks YouTube channel, bringing you everyday Ducks content. I've been a Ducks fan since 2003, so help out a fellow Ducks fan and hit that subscribe button. We got to get into this story. Earlier today, the Hockey News posted an article about Mason McTavish again getting traded to Montreal, and this time we have some proposed trades from the hockey writers over at the Hockey News, who obviously were going to create a couple really ridiculous trades that were just going to make Montreal a better team and a playoff team, basically. I mean, this is what happens with hockey media, and it's been going on for decades, right? I mean, it's so biased against teams from California, against teams that, of course, came, into the NHL in the last 30, 35 years. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Come on, the Ducks have been in the NHL for over 30 years, and for some fans out there, the Ducks are still a new team, right? And don't belong in the NHL and don't really deserve a spot, which is obviously ridiculous because the Ducks have won a cup. In Montreal, last I checked, Montreal hasn't won a cup since 1993, right? So it's been over 30 years the last time the Canadiens raised a cup. And for that matter, it's been over 30 years the last time Canada has won a Stanley Cup. So I think we got to, hold it there. The Ducks deserve a spot at the table. And this is just ridiculous what we're getting here from the media and the Canadiens. What the Canadiens could offer to get McTavish from the Ducks was obviously just ridiculous, right? As the article kind of starts out here, McTavish is exactly the type of player that would fit in with the Canadiens. Yeah, obviously, we've seen that. That's a given, right? I mean, the McTavish with Montreal would be, great for them and bad for the Ducks. I mean, the Ducks, need this guy, right? They need Mason McTavish. This guy was so important last year for the Ducks. As we know, had a great season, 52 points in 76 games. And showed a lot of physicality, and he's already 6'1", 219 pounds. This guy is a big guy. Now, I remember right away from his first game, this guy was already making an impact like you want to see from a young NHL player. And yeah, of course Montreal wants him, right? And this is when it gets ridiculous, right? We start going into the proposed trades. David Reinbacher and a 2026 first-round pick. David Reinbacher is a top pairing caliber right shot defenseman. The first round pick gives Anaheim another top asset. Hold it right there. A top asset? Reinbacher hasn't even played in the NHL. This guy has never played in the NHL. He has 0 NHL games. He got hurt in an NHL preseason game last season against the Maple Leafs and missed basically the entire season, right? A bad knee injury, which, of course, ended up playing, didn't miss the whole year, right? Played some games out there in the AHL for the Laval Rocket. Was it 10, 12 games? And yeah, there's you can watch videos on him. There's articles saying he looks good, he's healthy, he's a real deal, whatever. I don't buy it. Obviously, the Montreal media and the Montreal fan base would love to trade Reinbacher because there's so many doubts when it comes to this player. I mean, think of all the doubts when it comes to this player that was drafted just a couple years ago, has only played in, 20 AHL games in the last 2 years, like 25 AHL games. So basically, not even half of a season in AAA hockey. So obviously, I mean, he's years away from becoming an NHL star. I mean, don't let anybody tell you different. There's some people out there saying, no, he's a potential player for the NHL sooner than rather than later. I don't buy it. I mean, come on, he hasn't even played a full season in the AHL. So to say this guy is going to make an impact even for Montreal next season is ridiculous, right? I mean, it's not going to happen. So why would the Ducks make this trade? Why would the Ducks in the right mind make a trade for David Reinbacher, a player that's not even going to make an impact next season, will probably have to go to the San Diego Gulls and not help the Ducks at all make the playoffs next year. So that's an obvious no right there when you're looking at this trade. Sure, you get a first-round pick. That might not be a high pick. The Montreal Canadiens are probably going to make the playoffs if they get McTavish. I mean, they're probably a playoff team if they get McTavish. So that's not even a lottery pick. It's a 22-23 pick. So do you really want that? No. The Ducks cannot make that trade. This is where this next proposed trade it even gets more ridiculous. Michael Hage, what is it? Guy got drafted 21st last year, had a great season out for Michigan in college. This guy is a center, right? Same position as a McTavish, but this is even ridiculous, right? It says, sure, you get a first-round pick and a second-round pick just to kind of sweeten the deal, but who are we getting? Come on, Michael Hage. I mean, this guy is not even close to what McTavish is, right? It's not even close. Michael Hage may never play in the NHL, right? He may never develop to be a star like McTavish already is. So to say either of these trades are even, realistic is just ridiculous, right? It's just ridiculous that the Hockey News would even put this out there because it's just not going to happen. The Ducks are not going to accept a trade for the. I mean, I would be really pissed off if they did accept the trade. Like, I can't see them doing the Hayes trade, but I could potentially see the Reinbacher trade, right? Because he's a defenseman. He's got size. He's 20 years old. He's probably going to get bigger. A high first-round pick, right? The highest the Austrian drafted in the first round since Thomas Vanek 20 years ago. So, yeah, okay, the guy had a great, career. The youth career was great. Sure, he deserved to be in the top of the draft. But the last 2 years have been disastrous for Reinbacher, right? With injuries, and the knees don't look good. He's had a problem with the knee development. I was looking online. They were saying he has having some problems with his knee growth. I mean, it does not smell like a good fit for the Ducks, and it's just too much doubts here. The Ducks are not about that right now. They're about making the playoffs next year, and it's just not a good fit. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, I went out and looked at the Canadiens roster, and this is going to probably piss some Canadian fans off, but okay, if you guys really want McTavish, then let's do this. I mean, if you really want McTavish here, then trade Josh Anderson. Trade Josh Anderson to the Ducks, and we get a first-round pick, and we'll call it a trade. Anderson, already an established player. Jake Evans, guy's a great player. You guys really want McTavish? Trade, we'll get Jake Evans, right? I mean, Jake Evans would be the kind of player that the Ducks would love to have, I think. And, just gave you a couple proposed trades that I know Canadian fans would say no to, and probably Montreal would say no to as well, right? Because they're probably not as serious as we think when it comes to them getting McTavish, right? I mean, let's be realistic here. Are the Canadiens really serious about this, or is this just the media kind of creating a whole thing here? Because it's just not going to happen. The Ducks are not making those trades, and, it's just ridiculous. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Ducks.